Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where last time we looted all of the items from the rocky desert, brought them over to this factory here, and for now we've taken all of the copper and we've made it into copper powder as part of Armageddon, our supermassive nuclear pasta project, where we're aiming to make 60 nuclear pasta per minute. Which is, kind of insane. In fact, our last project there made 2,250 copper powder of the 12,000 we need for the pasta. And that only equates to about, a little over 30% of the way complete. And we still need so much more. But here's the worst part. We have finished up the easy half of this project, or I guess third. Because we have gathered all of the copper from down here, made our way up the coast, and now that we're done with the rocky desert area here, the next couple nodes we need to grab are in really strange places. There's one in the northern forest, there's a couple in the Titan forest down over here, the swamp, there's this one over there, and it's wait, what? How the heck are we supposed to centralize all of this in one zone? A zone that will not only need a ton of water, but also a ridiculous amount of space. Refineries? Pretty big lads. So where are we gonna build our next mega factory here? Well, I see a couple options. Number one is the swamp. But it's a swamp and it's stinky. Ah! Another option might be to bring everything to the center of the map to this lake here, which is very far away from a lot of infrastructure and is also kind of inconveniently far away from all of the nodes that I want to grab, which made me start thinking about option 3. What if we just destroyed our entire turbo fuel power plant? We don't really need it anymore, right? We have our supermassive nuclear power plant, which has been running very nice and consistent, no issues at all, smile. But am I brave enough to get rid of our only other power plant and rely solely on nuclear? That, I don't know. I need some time to think about it. Big decision here. Very, very big decision. And while I'm thinking about what to do next, I figured it'd be a good idea to show our main base some love here. There's a couple things that need to be adjusted, like the entire power situation. And also we could add in a lot of extra details around here, both inside and outside. But nothing too crazy. This place is not done yet, nowhere near, so I don't want to upset future Kibs. Oh, and speaking of future Kibs, new mod to the list, the ImKibitz icon pack by Drew Baca. It adds in a lot of my little logos. So if you want to make a shrine to Mr. Kibitz, you can do so. Send me a picture on the internet. That would be cool. But okay, enough. We gotta get to work. It's time to look into the power situation. Gen parts? What does that even mean? Did that blow up the grid? No. 70,000 megawatts are on this freaking circuit? Excuse me? Maybe I should have investigated that first before recklessly turning it off. I have no idea. That might be our whole main base here. Oh, wait a second. No. This goes down to our factory of factories. Oh, this whole area. Wait, so you're telling me that I actually have that all secluded onto one grid still? Ain't no way I can see it. Okay, props to past Kibs. 100 points. I am actually quite impressed. Maybe this won't be a whole big deal. This is for the Hypertube hub. That I'm sure is fine. I don't know how I could have messed that up. No, I think we really just need to focus on the main base one here, because the power to our main base is coming from all the way down here. This is it. This is the one little train stop that brings all of the power in the world to our main base, and it's a little ridiculous. And there ain't no way in all of the building shenanigans that I actually kept that line separated from everything else. So here's the plan. I'm gonna follow that line all the way back downstairs. Then I want the upper part of the factory, above kind of the ceiling there, to be on its own grid. A lower part, swamp train, I guess can be its own thing as well. And then what is this, portals? Oh, that's cool, there's a switch for that, neat. Then really it's just these two, main base and the upper factory stuff to be separated. I'll track down all of the cables and make sure they're organized, and then eventually we'll disconnect the main one, which could be very scary, because once we do that, we'll stop our aluminum production, and in doing so, we stop our nuclear power plant, which is scary. What is the deal here, though? This is our main power grid? Yeah, it's going all over the place. Can I just, like, cut this line at least, and everything would be fine? I didn't hear an earth-shattering kaboom. I think we're good. Why is this going over here? Still no kaboom? I'm in danger. This is not a good idea. Maybe I should be a little bit more chill. Okay, what blew up? Did like everything blow up? Okay, that was everything. That was a load-bearing power line. We don't mess with that one. Okay. Anyway, this is what I just have to scoot around and do for the next little while here. In past Kibs, buddy, I gotta hand it to you. This was no problem at all. This was very, very, very simple. You did a great job. It's like past Kibs actually properly planned all this stuff out. The switches are done, color-coded. An idea from our nuclear power plant that I absolutely should do more. And everything is running wild. Fun fact, actually, the main line that I was messing around with that goes all the way down, it wasn't actually the for real main line. The for real main line is this one here. It actually connects up to some train tracks over that way. So I don't even know what that little bottom train station was for. It just existed, I guess. But now and forevermore, there will be no confusion. Power is organized, looking solid for now. And when the time comes when we actually start to finish up this base and we go uppies, we'll know the power is all organized and we can mess with all the SAM stuff without any worries. Only little problem that might have happened is in turning off all of the power to the world grid, maybe like those handful of times, probably caused a little bit of nuclear waste to kind of build up. So we're just gonna quickly go and check on that. Hold up, I was about to take a hypotube cannon and fly over? I don't think so. We're not Neanderthals anymore. We don't need to launch ourselves out of hypotube cannons. We are sophisticated Satisfactory players. Portals. No problems. Right? Right. If everything's still moving, that means everything's still fine. Them be the rules. There's like a power pole or something. It is still at like 963. That's where we've been for a little while. That's 961. Is it like for real a problem here? Okay. There's maybe a little tiny bit of a problem. Waste shouldn't be like bunched up like this. But maybe the problem will solve itself. Yeah, I like thinking that. That makes me feel safe. We're gonna continue to think that and move on. Because while I was running around dealing with all the power stuff, I had a really cool idea for where to put an elevator into our main base. See, this whole place was built before we had elevators in like the 1.1 stuff. I was thinking, right to the left of our power control area here, we have a nice big ol' elevator that goes all the way down and all the way up. Good idea, Kibs. You better believe it. Only wee problem is that the elevators can only go like 200 meters, so we have to kind of have them switch back and forth a little bit. But it is what it is. We had to have an elevator in our main base. It was a law, written in stone, since elevators ever existed. And now, uppies.
Thank you for exposing yourself to the soothing ambiance of a fix-it elevator today. I hope you feel refreshed.
You know what, Ada? I think I do. In fact, it gave me another really good idea. Elevators had to be added into this space for sure. And another thing I've wanted to do is I wanted to utilize all of our coal. You see, I sacrificed a bunch of coal from like over there to fuel the trucks in their little endeavors. They kind of just supply our factory of factories with like random goods like iron and other coal, I suppose. But if we have all this extra coal, that means we can make some extra coal generators. Because we need more power, of course, right? No. I don't actually want to use the coal generators for power. I want to use them as a decoration. You see, with them, we can just set them to, I don't know, 1% clock speed. It'll use practically no coal at all. However, we'll get all these cool like chimneys all over the place. And I'm thinking our stack of blocks here could use some chimneys. So the idea is, We're gonna go, oh, I thought that was a truck for a second. It's just a drone though. Trucks, what are you doing? Oh, sorry. What I'm thinking is we'll have a bunch of these set into our base. So wherever we have like a couple ledges, we can skew these on in. Of course, make look a little bit more pretty than this, right? But for the most part, just get a couple chimneys hanging out around here. I'll add some more movement, a little bit of detail, and an excuse to spam 15 million pipes all over the place, which absolutely fills out a lot of the base and looks really, really cool. Especially over there, don't you think? Look at all that detail. Maybe it's too much detail. Okay, actually, maybe for real, it's too much detail. Maybe I'll get rid of a couple of them here and there. But for the most part, it's better than it was before, and it's a bit more aesthetically tolerable now. Definitely still needs the second half of the base build, but we'll get to that later. Because we are done with decorating today. We're getting back to Armageddon, the pasta project. Because while I was messing around with our activities today, I got the best idea ever, dude. The best. Screw making a giant refinery plant here, the swamp, and in fact, we can even leave the turbo fuel power plant alive. I have the best spot in the world to make a giant refinery plant, at least considering our scenario. Because while I was rewiring and dealing with like the elevators and the coal stuff, I realized that some of our trains are already bringing a ton of copper ore to our main base from the swamp. And if we already have a bunch of copper there, then it kind of makes sense to bring the copper from this area over there as well. We already have logistics nearby, it wouldn't be too difficult. And then the couple nodes that are out in the Titan Forest, well, they're relatively close to some infrastructure. So we could also bring that back to the main base too. Because in another dramatic discovery, I realized that past Kibs left an entire train station over here totally open. It's not being used for anything. It's just NA. Look at this thing. How many cars is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A lot, okay? It's a lot. So if we're transporting a bunch of copper from the other side of the map, we could set up like 2, 3 trains, distribute the pure nodes over a bunch of freight cars, and the throughput will be fine. Like, this is it. But then again, we need the two things. We need the copper ore in one place, and then we need the SIP to make this project work, because we have to use this pure copper ingot recipe. And our source of water for the main base is pretty tapped out. I don't think we can fit another like 50 water extractors in here. No. So I guess bit of a spot still then, eh? Well, actually, we're not. Because if this is our main base here, do you notice any other large bodies of water by chance? Like I was thinking the Crater Lake, that's all used up. There's some puddles over here, but then, oh yeah, it took me messing with all the coal with the trucks and stuff to remember that there's a giant lake right over here. A huge one, too, in fact. And if we have a bunch of copper ore right at our main base, well, we could easily just belt that over, set up a bunch of refineries and water extractors, and call it a day, bud. Oh my gosh, this is the spot. This is it. And better yet, I have such a cool idea for what we can do with this pit here. But we'll get to working on it in just a moment. There's one more thing I really want to do with our main base, and that is plan to steal some of the water from down here and bring it to the top of the base up there. Spoilers, but we're gonna need a lot of water for Caterium, actually. We're gonna be using this recipe a lot in conjunction with this one in the converter here. That's more a story for another day. For now, water pipes up there, please. Why, thank you, good buddy past Kibs. It looks lovely. In fact, everything does. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. And I even redid some stuff at the front of the base here because you know what? I'm excited for the pit. For real, this is gonna be so cool. But chores first, big chores. We gots to go wrangling. First things first, let's get the pure nodes that are over here. I'm thinking we just set up like a train station around this part. We yoink this, bring it on over, grab these 3, call it a day. Oh, we will be working in the Satisfactory boonies here. Not a ton of infrastructure to kind of work around, but it just is what it is. So again, we got 3 pure nodes here. That's 1,200 ore each. 3,600, then 4,800. Gosh, that is a lot of material, but you thinking what I'm thinking? Big old train station? Right in here? That is actually just what I was about to start and hum and haw about. It's like, where are we gonna put a train station? But this is like perfect. We have a train just skewed off this way, right through there, maybe goes around the tree and back towards the main base. This track goes back to our main base, I'm pretty sure. Maybe, probably. Okay, no, this should be fine. In a perfect world, if we have 4 pure nodes, I'd like 8 freight cars, because moving 1,200 material per minute is actually no easy feat. And if we could split each pure node into 2 freight cars, should be a little bit easier. Let's just take a rough look at how much space we really got here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Not looking good. 6, 7. Okay. Can we actually have the train like skewed around the tree here? Technically we could. We're starting to get into a bit of a mess because then we'd have like a bunch of signals here, right? Might get a little too busy. And if we have a uranium train that goes down this line, it's from like the middle of the map. There's like 600 uranium per minute that runs through here. It could delay that uranium train and that could cause problems at the nuclear power plant. Well, we can build in the other direction, right? Again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold up here. That's 8. Scoot things back a little bit more. Then perfect world. We have this train track that's going straight this way, right? We want it to go straight directly into that train station right there. Oh my gosh, it's happening. Wait, it's gonna be perfect. I can sense it. The stars are aligning. Oh, now that's very satisfactory. Look at it go. Okay, so that means we just need the 8, right? Good. We can stop the whole party there. We can move the train back a scoot. And then the final thing is I just want the train to turn back into the track right to here. Okay, just imagine with me for a minute. What if this connects? What if it doesn't hit the tree to our left? I'm almost afraid to look. Oh my gosh, we're playing the video game right now. Yes, it's perfect. Everything's perfect and simple. Oh my god, I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. This is all I ever wanted in the world. This is why I play the video game. Okay, I'm actually unironically so hyped here. What's even better is we have some room underneath these train tracks here, so we can just scoop up all of the nodes, bring them underneath the tracks, and right over there. Wowie, wowie, wow. This is actually just so great. I am so happy. I just had no idea how I was gonna go about dealing with these nodes. They're just so out in space. It was so simple. It took no time at all. But the station is in. Belts are loaded, and it's done. And thank goodness as well, because I needed the mental energy to belt this silly little copper node all the way through the tracks and all the way over to the station. Not gonna lie, bit of a minute away. But again, it's done. And there's really only one other thing that could go wrong. Is the throughput might not actually be enough. Like, we need to move the 1,200 items per minute. And you know, having the doubled up freight cars like we built things, confident, right? But I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my gosh, and you know what? We have an extra train station back at our main base, but I don't think I actually counted how many freight cars are available there. Or I mean to say, is like the train station at our main base the same size as the train station we just built? Now, even if it isn't, I'm kind of confident that I can adjust things to make it work. But in a perfect world, everything just works right now, and we're, oh geez, big chillin'. Train, give me a lift here, okay? Wait, there's copper there? Why is that there? Don't know. It's time to count. For real this time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we have 9. So we have a whole extra freight car. I knew that. Never doubted past Kibs for a moment. So that just leaves a little bit of busy work. Since we're moving so many items per minute, we absolutely have to have the trains unload into big storage bins. This is just, again, to help with all the throughput numbers. And now we just have to wait for the trains to drop off items a bunch of times. so we can get some accurate readings in the freight platforms. So they've gone a couple rounds, and the transfer rate is a little low, but you really do have to give it like a proper amount of time before you actually get real good numbers. And oh man, if we can properly transport 4,800 copper ore into here, woof, them be the good numbers. For now, into some temporary awesome sinks, and I guess we'll stop by this later. I don't know where the train is precisely at this moment, but we do have some time to kill, and if that is the case, we should get more copper. In fact, as we're riding in here, is there not like a copper node? Yeah, why is there copper on the wall here? When did I do this? Where is this coming from? How much is it? 600? Oh, it's from right over there. Ish. Thanks, past Kibs, helps a lot. Okay, well then we can move on. We have more copper to scoop from over here. There's a copper node that is way off in the corner there. That shouldn't be too big a deal. Just drag that onto here. Got a couple belt highways, skewed it on that way, and then, well, I don't know. Figure that out later. More so, I'm thinking about this copper node over here. This is a pure one, and Billy doesn't want to give it up. Or, oh, come on, Billy. Just go over the cliff, Billy. Come on, Billy. One charge. One charge. Oh, Billy, you're so silly. Okay, this is pure though, right? I didn't waste my time? Oh, I did not. Okay, so how are we gonna go about this? Put down the node, give it some power shards, and then we got our classic little ground support. We built this like years ago. Still comes in handy. What the what? Billy has returned. The chosen son. Return to whence you came, Billy. You can't exist here. Back into the abyss with you. Demon. But okay, what were we doing? Ah yes, the ground support blueprint. So that's set up now. The belts are all good, power's connected, and material is flowing through here, back to the slab, and over to our main base. Yes, this is a couple hours later. Grab that other node from over there. Again, just a simple little belt. Scooted it on down through this like little control building here, and then off on a giant new belt highway, along with some friends. I was like, you know what? Why not just grab a bunch of coal from over there, bring it down some existing infrastructure, bring it all the way over here, then over there, and then onto a giant new belt highway. Because, you know, I was already here, right? Like, I may as well. Why not? Future Kibs will be so happy because we're totally gonna need this iron for something, probably, maybe. I have no idea. I know at some point we're gonna need the nitrogen gas that's like over there. So I was like, may as well go big with the infrastructure project right now. When we eventually have to set it up, well, then we can just stack the pipes on top of this. But yeah, on the way back, gathered all of this iron, bunch of other stuff, and it's looking good. Just gotta use the old blueprint auto connect, bring everything together nice and snugly, but super quick before we actually finish up bringing the belts all the way over to the main base. We have to find a way for the belts to go through. So they go to here. I don't know, can we just go through this wall? What's through wall number 1? I'm seeing a logistics lane that goes straight that way. Yeah, we'll probably attach all the belts to the ceiling there, and that'll be fine. But I'm dying to know the throughput numbers. I was working on that stuff for a while. Like, we should have accurate readings over at the train station. And if the numbers aren't 600 per minute per freight car here, we're gonna have a problem. But imagine having problems today, am I right? We're chilling. Good job, new Chu. You the best. Okay, let's figure out what we're doing with the belts here. So again, they're gonna come through this way. I'm pretty sure I can just attach all of the belts to the ceiling here. That won't be a whole big deal. And through this wall, I think it's trucks. I would be correct. What the? That one was doing a wheelie. Cool. Okay though, we can get all of the copper to here, no problem. And you know what I'm thinking? I want to decorate the front of the base, right? Well, what if we had a bunch of copper belts running through the front of the base, and then we can bring them across the pipeline there over to the pit, because we want all the copper over at the pit for processing. We have like a free wall we can use. I guess like down here. These belts are just like decorative. I guess eventually bring everything to here and then over. Or wait a second, this is the road with all the trucks, right? We could also build a whole new belt bridge that goes over the Great Pit, over that way. I'm thinking that'd be easier, right? Because then we just have to bring these couple copper belts straight through the wall that's right there. Easy peasy. And then to get the other copper, we just need to be by the trucks, which are gonna be right here. Oh, and there's the wall where we're gonna bring all those belts through. So everything kind of just centers right here, and then we go through that wall, and through that wall is the Great Pit where we can have a big bridge going through. And dude, is today real? Like seriously, this has been the most convenient planning day ever. Although it's been many, many, many hours of grunt work. You know what? I really enjoy this process. It gives me time to listen to podcasts, and really it's the decision fatigue of what to do next that always kind of gets me. But no, got a big plan, all in the pit here. So we're gonna process all of this copper right on location. And that's a lot of copper. Those are all pure lines, right? 1,200 times 8? That's a big number. Yeah, we're gonna have to set up Project Hoos for this one. We're gonna be here a while. So let's set her on down somewhere over here. Should be fine. And start running some numbers. So the main thing is we have 9,600 copper ore, okay? Each refinery is gonna take 37.5 ore per minute. That's 256 refineries, okay. Those are all fully overclocked, by the way, which means we're gonna be making 24,000 copper ingots. And all that to make a cool, how much copper powder? Well, it's gonna be 32 constructors. 32 constructors times 125, 4,000 copper powder. That's a good chunk of the project. That's more than all of the copper powder that we've made already through Armageddon. This is all for one project. Yeah, low-key, a little scared. Not as scared as the nature down in the pit should be, because it's kinda in the way of progress. Ain't enough room here in the pit for all of us, okay? Especially not for you, Lawrence. Are you either, Bean? Ooh, and good place to nuke as well. A lot of logs around here. The most dangerous enemy in Satisfactory. If you know, you know. But going forward, there should be nothing to worry about. Not after today. There's always a tree that survives. Why? Oh, and the bean? Look, bean, you can't be here, buddy. Go to the other side, thank you. And trees, congratulations on surviving. You are the champions of the forest. Or at least you were. Because surprise, surprise, we're gonna be paving this whole pit area here and turning it into a massive factory. And you know what? Usually I'd kind of tease that as the end of the video, but I actually am too excited to build this right now, and you need to see it. This idea is flawless. Probably one of my best. You see, there's like these open mines for, I think it's marble, right? And in these marble mines, they always cut things into square chunks. So the pits end up with this really neat like aesthetic. But now imagine that with brutalist architecture, right? At least that's the vision I have for the pit here. So first, we're just gonna pave over like the flat area. And then I really wanna texture the walls over here. Like this is gonna be like the feature piece of the entire area, where I don't think we're gonna square it up. I think we're gonna have some kind of weird angles going on here. In fact, I think we have to. We have that pipeline that goes to our main base, right? And this needs to line up with what we're doing in the pit. So one of the walls will have to be on this angle. Then at the end here, we'll have a flat wall. That'll be at the same angle as over there. So then that means on the other side, we'll mirror this angle against that cliff. And that cliff is already kind of on a diagonal. So just like a rough idea, have this over here. We'll bring out the main platform and oh, that's so strange. The angled wall is there, but Oh, we need to have like the back wall, like the flat back wall, straight ahead. So that will be one angle. And mirror to cross over there, another. Well, then we start to run into like terrain issues like this. This could get real tricky real quick. Or no. No, I think I have a general idea. Angled wall that has to be with that angle on the left. Then straight wall back there. And then this wall will have to be angled even more somehow and go over top of this little area there. And somehow we transition that all into the main grid of the pit factory. And oh my gosh, it is like it's the most simple idea in like the world, but you have no idea how long this stupid little curved pit area took me. But this wall would just not align with the wall over there. It's done now. And you know what? It looks great. A lot of shenanigans had to be deployed. Lot of weird dead space along the cliffs here, but it was all worth it. I think actually this is the coolest area of our whole world now. Once that back wall was in, it was so easy to throw in all these cool extra little features here and there, including some nifty cliffside stairs. Don't those look cool? Wow. And yes, I even included the waterfall in the design a little bit. I don't know what we'll do over there, but I think that'll be a future Kibs problem. In fact, everything's gonna be a future Kibs problem because I am for real done now. Because this, on top of all the belt work and copper wrangling that we've done today, has pushed me way over time. So I'll be leaving this beautiful blank canvas to future Kibs. But hey, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.